Hello, beautiful, wonderful, majestic souls of YouTube. My name is Dans. This is my channel, That Good Tarot, where we do timeless readings for anyone with any placements. If you've made your way to this reading, I feel like there's a message in here for you. However, if you don't resonate with this reading, that's cool, that's chill. Go check out my channel. There are so many other readings there. I'm sure you'll find something that fits you. I am like too hyped. I just finished work and I love what I do. So my energy is like up here. Let's try and bring it to just slightly below that so that we can have a reading for you guys and really tap into what your guides would like for you to know today. Universe, please, insight and information. We have the Two of Coins coming up here and Justice. We're getting themes of fairness, confrontation, and decision making. Let's have a look at the decisions to be made. Let's have a look at this confrontation coming up. It seems to be around some kind of, how am I going to say this? Break in communication. Could be. That could be an aspect of what's going on for you, but let's have a look at it. Let's have a look at, first and foremost, the decisions to be made, the Two of Coins. Universe, please, insight and information. What's going on? Give me the situation. Eight of Coins, Five of Coins, and the Star. It feels like what you most want to do is just focus on your work. Focus on your work. Just like work to be the person that you want to be, because it feels like in doing that, that's going to be the way that you set yourself free. But you can't stop like fixating and looking towards, it's either a person or a circle, an industry, a hopeful outcome. You're looking towards this like hopeful outcome. There is this beacon of hope that is out there. It's like almost like a fantasy, but you are keeping that fantasy alive in a very dark space. I'm being drawn to, I don't know if you can see it because it's not going to focus, but this figure is holding like a candle and it's like snowing and they're just trying to keep that candle lit. Okay, so that's the situation. It feels like you have been in a bit of a isolated space and you are kind of holding on to this idealized fantasy of a place, a situation, or a person. But you're trying your hardest to ignore that and just be like, I'm just going to focus on me. Like everything is going to sort itself out if I just sort myself out. So that's the situation. What are the decisions? What are the decisions to be made here? Universe, please, insight and information. What's the decision here? Ace of Cups. Are you ready to be vulnerable? Are you ready to let your walls down? Are you ready to take a really, really, really hard look in the mirror at yourself, your actions? And even more so, are you ready to accept that version of yourself? Number one. And two, offer that version of yourself for someone else. And when I say like offer it, it could be just to perceive it. You could be offering it to be like, are you going to accept me like this? It comes first, like, do you accept yourself like this? This is the decision that needs to be made. Either you're at a fork in the road. I've had a lot of path terminology coming up. You're at a fork in the road. One of the paths is, okay, this is who I am. Taking a long, hard look at yourself, being like, okay, this is me. I accept this version of me. I am ready to accept myself for all of my strengths, all of my beautiful qualities, and also all of my darkness, all of my faults, all of my imperfections. I accept this version of me. I am ready to continue on this journey to grow by accepting who I am now, because we can only really improve who we are when we actually acknowledge where we're at first. But you're ready to go on that journey, take you as you are, and continue to grow into the version of yourself that most aligns with your values. And you're also ready to show up authentically as that person with every single person that you meet along that path. You decide, I see myself, I love myself, and I love myself enough to present the most authentic version of me to everyone that I meet and to everyone that I already know. This is the path I'm taking forward. That's path number 1. Path number 2 is I don't want to look at this part of myself. I don't want to accept that I've been this person. I'm going to suppress all of that. I'm going to ignore all of that. I am going to just power on and act like that's not there. Because I'm sure if I just act like it's not there, it's going to disappear. That's what happens with problems, right? They just disappear when we don't look at them. Oh, that's some like 20-somethings logic. You know, we've all been there. We've all been there. If I don't look at it, it'll figure itself out. No, girl, no. I'm not going to look at it. And I'm just going to carry on and I'm just going to focus on these other things. These are the 2 paths. I'm telling you, that path there, the second path is actually a circle. It's just going to lead you back to the fork in the road. And you're either going to really have a hard look at yourself or not. You're going to lead back around. That's the decision that you have to make. And if you find yourself kind of cycling around being like, why do I keep coming up against this thing? I don't think you're seeing the other path. I don't think you're in the circle path and you can't see anything else. And you keep circling the path being like, if I just keep doing this, I'll end up somewhere else. No, that's just not it. That's the decision that needs to be made. I feel like this is what's going to lead to this confrontation energy. So, what messages do your guides have to support you in this, universe, please? What is going to help them pick the path that leads to growth, that leads to fulfillment, that leads to loving themselves, accepting themselves, showing up authentically, growing in alignment with their values? What do they need to focus on to help them with that? We have the 9 of Wands. We have the 6 of Cups. We have the Queen of Coins. And we have the Devil. I got the words, the upside down. I feel like your growth and your most authentic self lies in the places that you least want to look at. And because there are these parts of your life, particularly nostalgia is a big one that comes up. You seem to have put like a barrier up around yourself and nostalgic memories, and that's really cut off the access to your most vulnerable self. And it could be because really nostalgic memories or connections that you've had with people are very painful. So you decide to cut off from that. But what you're doing is you're not just cutting off from that particular person or that particular memory or that particular feeling. You're cutting off from the version of yourself that was attached to that. So you're cutting off the feeling, yes, because you are numbing a part of yourself. And that is the part that you're suppressing you need to go back into that and be like, why is this part of me so attached here? What are the feelings, good and bad, that are involved in this? And being brought back to the upside down. It feels like things are very reversed. Like why do I feel that in my heart? It feels like the things that you think are bad are actually very good. And the things that you think are good are actually very bad. So let's just pretend it's like opposite day for a sec, okay? If you're like, I don't want to think about all of these things, it's really, really painful to me, and you're like, this is a good choice, let's pretend like that's a bad choice and you should look at these things. And if you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna hyper focus on this particular thing, maybe just for a day, be like, maybe that's a bad choice. Maybe I do need to sit with my feelings. But it just feels like there's this big wall up between you and this version of yourself that is that's in a lot of pain is the thing. Is like experiencing so much joy, but also so much pain. Okay. I have the feeling that maybe in the times where, yeah, okay. Oh. So we have this figure here. I know you can't really see it, but like this figure is holding like a little doll in their hands, like holding it, like protecting it, like they're scared for it. It feels like, oh my gosh, there's so much. Okay, there's a few different things that come to the idea of isolation. And as I like go to talk to it, as I'm tapping into your energy, like it feels very hard to articulate. I know that my brain is feeling a lot, but it doesn't like want to articulate it. And it keeps dancing around. Like it's hard for me to stick onto one thing. And it just makes my mind want to go really blank. When I'm going to try really hard, I'm just feeling your energy a lot. So this might be why it's hard for you to kind of face these things, because there is this big wall up, but I feel like that wall is up and that isolation is there because that is the love that you understand, that maybe you've had to self-soothe a lot and you think this is such a subconscious thing, that putting distance between you and your inner child and their pain is like an act of love for yourself and for them. But what's actually going on when you are numbing these memories, you are actually isolating your inner child and you are completely deaf to their joy, their fears, their anger, their frustration. They're like alone in their room being upset with no one to soothe them. And because you're disconnected from them, you don't hear what's wrong with them, which is maybe... This is why the more we suppress these things, we don't actually understand why, because we've closed ourselves off from the version of ourselves that wants to articulate it. This is something that I haven't gone into this stuff for a while, because I spent a good few years of my life after being in an extremely not great situation, having to collect up all the versions of myself that I isolated and abandoned. And it was really, really hard because a lot of them were angry. A lot of them wouldn't talk to me. A lot of them didn't trust me to protect them, trust me to listen to them. There was a lot of repairing the relationship that I have with myself. And it's still an ongoing thing. But I feel like there's a bit of that going on for you as well. That because you have locked away And I don't think you intentionally did it. I just feel like you didn't want to feel the pain of it, and you didn't know what to do with it, and you didn't understand it. And maybe because you were always taught to self-soothe, this happens on such a subconscious level. We end up doing that with the versions of ourselves that come to the surface and want to be addressed. We do whatever our parents did with us. And that was, for me, it was like, go to your room and fix your face. Like, that's what I got. So it might be a bit of that as well. You've sent your inner child off to figure it out, but they don't figure it out. They just get locked into a room. Your inner child holds so much information about yourself, your personality, your wants, your needs, your desires, your values. They're also such a key part to your intellect, your creativity, the way that you socialize, the way that you connect dots, the way that you create humor in situations, the way that you empathize. There's definitely some work there to be done. I really recommend like visualization meditations around that. You could do guided ones, or you could also just do them by yourself and spend some time talking to yourself. Speaking of upside down, we have Queen of Cups and the Devil. Oof. I think this can go one of two ways. Okay, there is either someone that you have associated with being very bad for you that is actually just triggering these things in you, and they're actually very good for you, and that is the role that they are playing in their world, in your world. Like, that's what they are there to instigate your growth, but you're seeing it as this person's a terrible person. So that's number one. It could also be there is someone in your world who you think is amazing, who is such a guiding light, who is just the pinnacle of what is good and correct in the world. And they don't have it right. And they, through no fault of their own, could be misleading you because of their own communication styles, their own experiences. Sometimes when we look up to someone, because they have maybe been an authority figure in our life for a really, really long time, or because they speak with confidence, or we have this innate trust in them, we tend to just take advice from people that we really, really trust. But no one's perfect and no one is all-knowing. There could be someone who is a lot older than you, or someone who is a lot more experienced than you, maybe in the workplace, maybe on your family. That's like, I can see your situation and this is exactly what's going on and this is what you need to do. They could have a really, really good idea of what's going on there, but no one knows your internal world and the situations that you're in like you, and there's a very good chance that the other people around you haven't experienced what you're going through. I'll give you some examples. I was in a very, 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 very toxic situation with an ex of mine for 9 years. And all of the women around me had really, really great to tolerable partners, none who were like outwardly narcissistic, abusive, all of that. So when they were giving me advice on this situation, they couldn't read and see signs, so they could only give me advice as far as their experience and worldview would go, which was, everything's going to be okay. You just need to do this. You just need to do that. You just need to be non-confrontational. And that's fine. But they don't have the experience that I have. And now me having the experience that I have can see situations where there's a certain level of manipulation and mistreatment. but there are other things that I don't know about. So I said this last time, that like you don't know what you don't know, and some people with confidence and with life experience will speak on things that they don't know about. So just be careful about who you're taking advice from, because it's twisted one way or the other. There's someone that you've decided to completely write off, and they could potentially be like quite healthy and necessary for your growth. And then inversely, it might just be someone in your world that's giving you a lot of advice and it's actually leading you astray. I'm going to give another example. So of the experience and the advice thing. So there's this friend of mine that my partner is also friends with, and while my partner was learning about ADHD and going through his ADHD journey, he was saying, oh, I think that our friend might have ADHD. We were talking and they do this, they do that. They were listing all of these things. And my partner, through his lived experience, was like, well, then this must be ADHD. And this is what they should do to treat that. And then I was like, hold your horses, babe. Because yes, it could be ADHD, but all of these things also happen to people with trauma or people who experience PTSD. So it could be one or the other. And it was only when he went into further conversation with our friend that, oh yeah, it was something else. It wasn't ADHD. It was something else entirely with a little bit of trauma mixed in. So like, certain things can look certain ways depending on one person's lived experience. So be careful of people who are like, I know everything, because we can only really have a limited range of experiences in a lifetime, even if we're like 60 to 80 years old. There's only so many things that we can really perceive. So that's my analogy on that. So yeah, let's have a look at this confrontation. We're doing another long reading. Maybe we'll see if I can get this under half an hour. Universe, please. Okay, let's just sum up that last deck. Sorry. The last half of the reading. There was a decision to be made. There's a path you got to take, and that was the support. Maybe things are a little bit upside down. Maybe you should just have a look at things at the inverse. Just, you know how they do like couples therapy and they get like people to swap roles and like act that out. Be like, okay, what would it feel like if I had to wear their situation? Or like, you know, a little bit of that. Just a little bit of opposite day. Just to, as a thought experiment. Let's see what's going down with the Justice card. Universe, please. Insight and information. We have the Sun. We have the Knight of Wands. Okay. I'm going to say this. Confrontation is not something that has to be combative. A confrontation it can be just a communication. It depends on the energy that you're bringing into it and that the other person is bringing into it. But as we grow up, we got to get cozy with confrontation. It's the only way that you can really deal with life and deal with life in a way that you ensure that it goes in a direction that aligns with you. Yeah? Because if you just like, I don't like confrontation, I'm just going to not talk about this and not talk about that and not deal with this and not address this. Cool. Just let everyone else shape your path then. No. We don't do that here. No. I want you to live a life that is so happy, joyful, and aligns with you so much. And part of this experience as a human is to learn how to stand up for yourself, to have difficult conversations, and such beautiful things come from these difficult conversations. And I don't even think it's difficult. I just think it's uncomfortable. And I think it's mostly uncomfortable because maybe you're not used to having deeply honest conversation. It feels like you're just kind of ready to skim the surface of things. Things are looking really good. Take the bull by the horns. That's the big message coming in here. Like, take action. Take messy action. We have the Two of Cups. Like, the beautiful connection that is waiting for you on the other side of this is insane. Insane. As I'm continuing on this, I feel like I get this energy of like, I do not trust this. Like, I do not trust these messages. It almost feels like if anyone tells you to, it feels like your energy is very resistant to this message. That's what I get. It's like there's this pull away that happens when it comes to deep, emotionally intimate conversation. We have the Knight of Coins. Like, I know that you want that, but it feels like your nervous system's pulling away. Like, it's an instinct. Like I said before, things might be the opposite. When you feel like something might be really, really bad, could be wrong. The Fool. You know what? As I pull that card, I heard Take a Chance on Me by ABBA. If you change your mind, I'll be first in line. Maybe I'm still free. Take a chance on me. Who knows? I don't know if you guys listen to the songs or just tolerate the fact that I'm always going to be thinking about a song that aligns with this reading. Take a chance. Take a chance. Literally, babe, YOLO. That is the certified fresh message from your guides. YOLO. Let's get into some oracle cards. 1, 2. We have the Shaman, Lunatic, Insights, Cosmos. Am I crazy or is it the moon? Let yourself be Delulu for like a night, a day, a week, just a moment. Get grounded. Empaths, highly sensitives, connect with nature. Go have a meditate. Go talk to your inner child. Like, go listen to them. Go hold them. Please listen to all their problems and tell them that it's okay because you're going to take care of it and you're going to take care of them. And then play a bit of opposite day for like 24 hours, 48 if it's feeling really good. Just try. What have you got to lose at this point? Y'all, love your work. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I'll see you in the next reading.